We seemed so functional.
Boy, we pulled the wool over your eyes.
Oh my gosh, wow. I never said that.
That I didn't want to be an advocate of plural marriage anymore. An obvious unfairness in the relationship.
Some are up, some are down, but it's, it's always.
That it was a better way. And it come to a stark reality of the struggle that it is.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Friday, June 11th. Guess what I have? I have some exclusive tea for you. Some people in Flagstaff, Arizona that know the Browns reached out to me and they sent me some photos of Christine and Kody at graduation last week with Ysabel, which might be able to answer some questions about if Kody and Christine are estranged, and it's looking like they are not. Oh my God. Last week, Ysabel, she graduated from high school, and the high school had their graduation. Due to the pandemic, kids at the school were only given 2 tickets, according to the source that I spoke with, who has a child that graduated in Ysabel's class. At the graduation, they say that Kody and Christine arrived separately. They claim that Kody was driving like an older, I think they said blue Lexus, and Christine was driving the Infiniti. And that when they arrived, apparently Christine was very happy and the happiest this person has ever seen them. According to the person I spoke with, Christine is often seen around town, and she's typically with Truly and Ysabel. And generally, they said she looks pretty tired, worn out, busy. I mean, she's basically a single mom, y'all. And they said that when Kody arrived, Christine was super happy. They said it was the happiest they had seen Christine ever. And that generally in town, Christine and Janelle are seen and typically are able to go to the grocery store and are totally like not bothered by people, not really recognized, and generally just like pleasant human beings. So Christine and Kody were at the graduation together. I guess Christine's hands were completely full, so there wasn't like kissing or hand holding or anything like that. But my source says that they looked like a completely normal couple, like nothing was estranged. So Christine and Kody are likely not separated, allegedly, and that even though they arrived separately, were very happy, very cordial, very good in public together, making people believe that there was nothing wrong between their relationship at all. And I guess at the very end of the ceremony, my source said that Kody and Ysabel got into his car and drove over towards Janelle's house. Apparently, Janelle's house is not far from the school. And they say that Christine turned to go to her house. So my thought was that Kody was probably going over to Janelle's because obviously they could not go to, her siblings could not go to the graduation, and she's close with the siblings that live with Janelle. So my guess is that she went with Dad, and they probably went over to Janelle's, and she went and saw Savannah and Garrison and Gabriel. And perhaps Christine drove to her house and picked up maybe Gwendolyn and Truly, and then they all went back over to Janelle's. So even though they arrived separately and left separately, it doesn't appear that there was any tension at all between the two of them while they were there, which again is making me believe that a lot of the stuff that we see on TV is a complete and utter hoax, or as a means of driving interest in the show. And remember when Mykelti was on her Twitch with Tony and she said that things are not actually how they appear on TV and that things are not as dramatic as what we see? I'm even starting to believe that Mykelti was being truthful. I mean, why would she lie about something like that? So when I asked the source about just overall, like what's the feeling about the family in the community, and they said that the kids are super friendly, like really good kids, and that overwhelmingly the family is very well accepted. And I had wondered this because there was some reports by the Sun that like nobody in Flagstaff wanted them there. And I guess people at the school, at least the person I spoke to, said that the kids are super nice and really good kids overwhelmingly. Or the kids are just like good kids, which I think is pretty evident when you watch the show. They don't seem like they've raised their kids to be super arrogant or rude. They seem to be like just good kids. So when I asked about like, you know, what else, this person slipped in that Robyn is by far the most unapproachable of all of the sister wives. And they said that every time they see Robyn in public, she is extremely unapproachable, doesn't want to talk to people, and that I thought initially like, okay, so well, she's an introvert, maybe that's why. And I said, well, that doesn't surprise me about Robyn because obviously Robyn is kind of a introvert. And they said, well, no, I actually have been close in proximity to her at school, and this person felt like Robyn is just a little bit stuck up, acted as though she was, according to this person, this is their opinion, Robyn was stuck up, acting as though she was better than people, not wanting to interact with people, maybe has a little bit of stuff going to her head with the show and their fame. So Robyn is apparently standoffish and stuck up, according to this person, and Christine and Janelle are super nice. Now, here's the weird thing. This person says that Meri is literally never seen in town, like ever. 2+ years that this family has lived here, this person says they've never seen Meri, not one time in town. They've seen Robyn and Janelle. They said they see Janelle and Christine at the grocery store all the time, and Janelle and Christine at the grocery store are totally normal. And they see Robyn driving around, going to Chick-fil-A or, you know, running errands. But in the entire time that Meri has lived there, they said they've literally never seen Meri once. Which actually makes me wonder about some of those rumors that were saying that like Meri doesn't have a relationship with the family, that she's very distant from the family, that she doesn't ever spend time with the family. And now when you hear a local saying, I've never seen Meri ever publicly, could it be that Meri just doesn't go out very much? Could it be that she has like her groceries delivered? Could it be that she just doesn't go out at the same time as Meri? Or could it just be that Meri doesn't spend as much time in Flagstaff as they would like you to believe? I've often wondered, like, does Meri spend most of her time in Utah at the inn? Or does she have another place where she spends her time? Before COVID, she was traveling all the time. And she was stuck more frequently in Flagstaff during the pandemic, but she also seemed to be going back and forth a lot to Utah. And now she's full time in Utah as she's got the inn going. And when she put her notice up that the inn was, you know, like she was going to have to be running this full time after her mom passed away, she didn't mention Kody or the sister wives. And everyone was like, what is this? And then you've got this local saying, I never see her ever around. And I'm like, that's interesting. That's weird. Which makes me wonder, so if Meri's post was true and she didn't mention Kody and she didn't mention the sister wives, there has to be some truth to this, that Meri is literally only around for filming. Because remember how one of Meri, like someone that was friends with Robyn, came out and basically said that like Meri has no relationship with the family and she's very like a distant relative to them, and she's not around. They don't see her. They don't have a relationship with her. She just sort of shows up for filming. Now I'm wondering if she's just in town for filming, and then when she's not filming, she's somewhere else. Like, is her house that she's renting only for filming, and then when she's not filming, she goes to Utah, or what? I honestly wish they would just be honest about the Meri situation and stop pretending like Meri is a part of this family when it's so evident in so many ways that she's not. Instead of like this game, like I wonder what the incentive here is to keep this together. Is it because of the paycheck? Because I kind of feel like if one of the wives left, it would be a good storyline, but they would also probably get paid less because it's like one less adult that they would have to pay. So are they keeping Meri on simply because, like, remember when John and Kate broke up, and John said that TLC offered to pay him like $1 million to stay together and to film like they were together for a couple of years? Do you think TLC could be potentially paying Meri to stay in the situation and pretend she's married for the show? Could you imagine? That would be such a scandal. Anyways, Meri never around. Christine and Kody still very much together. Janelle happy as a clam at the grocery store. And Robyn, allegedly a stuck-up woman. I don't know about Robyn. It's hard with introverts. It's so hard with introverts. Some people are just so quiet, you just don't know. But who knows? It could be. I mean, she does sometimes seem like she's better than even her wives. Anyways, tell me what your thoughts are about all of this in the comments below. Bye, guys.